You can see, guys, so let's hop straight into the game.
So, spawning up in the top left position, we have got the blue Protoss player from Team Fnatic. It's NightEnd.
The Troll Toss himself.
And his opponent, down in the bottom right, is a red Zerg from Team Awesome Gaming. It's XeNoN.
Alright, so really looking forward to watching these guys play. Of course, I've seen NightEnd at a couple of events now. The guy is... he's like the world's biggest troll. He's amazing. The Troll Toss himself.
Over Fusa?
Oh yeah, like in real life, he's the ultimate troll.
Oh, okay.
He will troll everyone, like anytime, any place, no matter the situation. He's got no problem whatsoever. We have a pretty quick probe scout coming out of here from NightEnd.
Very quick, actually.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what he has in store. It looks like we are going to be seeing the gateway go down inside the main base. Meanwhile, the probe is just going to check for any sneaky cheeses. We'll be scouting behind the mineral line shortly, and we'll be able to see the timing on that spawning pool.
So that's all good. Now, this means that it's a standard opening, and I can talk about something I'm really excited about, and that is this group that these two players are in.
Yeah.
I actually think this group is possibly one of the closest contested ones for the spots to advance. It's got NightEnd, XeNoN, Runa, and Derps in it. And I actually think that there's three of them who all could be vying for even the top spot.
I think so. I believe on this stream, straight after this, we actually have XeNoN, who's going to be playing Runa as well.
Yep.
So these games are incredibly important for who advances out of these groups, as we see XeNoN at the moment trying to annoy the probe into submission here, poking and prodding away with his little drone hands, I want to call them, but they're more like claws, really. And the probe is going to be able to go and get a scout off. Pincers, yes, definitely pincers. It's like he's boxing, though. He extends them outwards to smack the probe a little bit. I don't really know what that kind of movement is called. It's kind of like he's trying to punch it, but in slow motion.
It's kind of like a drunk right hook or something.
Yes,
but just with a pincer.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Good point.
The Australian cricket team could teach them lots.
Definitely. Well, I think definitely the best chance that they have is probably to knock out all the players before the match starts. I will openly concede this year. Yep. Not a great year, but you never know. We'll see. Might throw a surprise or two.
So, back to StarCraft and away from the cricket. We do have one probe desperately trying to get away from these two Zerglings. I can't actually look at Zerglings anymore without thinking about StarCrafts. Like, they just changed.
It's true. Zerglings are very cute.
And just two of them running along there, I can just see them eagerly chasing the probe. They always smile in my head.
They just want to lick it, that's all it is.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're going to be running straight past the Nexus at the natural expansion there as the Mothership Core pops out. So if these things try and go back around the mineral line, they might not actually scout the expansion, but... Ooh.
So okay, they see a pylon there.
But yeah, he sees the pylon, so he's thinking, well, buildings over there can usually just mean one thing, and it is that you're about to expand. So we're going to be sending... It looks like this drone just going to be possibly building a spine crawler there from the looks of things. No, it's going to be the Roach Warren. Okay, so Roach Warren at the natural expansion.
That's a really early Roach Warren.
Yeah, very really early indeed.
Usually you'd expect to see that somewhere between 6:30, 7:30ish. So getting that down early could be a Roachling aggressive push, especially because gas is still being mined by XeNoN at the moment, and actually up against what NightEnd's doing. It could be really effective if he does put on pressure, because the Twilight Council's coming down. All he's actually got is a sentry and a Mothership Core for the time being. He's following up with another sentry, which means that a big aggressive push would be highly effective, especially if that wall-off isn't really solid.
Now that play, I think, is actually going to alert XeNoN to something, because it's obvious the two Lings couldn't get any substantial amount of damage done, but NightEnd went to the lengths to use a force field to prevent the Ling from getting into the main base. So XeNoN must be looking at that going, I wonder what's going on. And it's because something is going on here. The Dark Shrine has just been put down at the 6-minute 10-second mark by NightEnd. Interestingly, against Roach-centric play, going for quite quick blink isn't necessarily that bad an option as well, though we don't see it here. I don't think NightEnd at the moment knows that the Roach Warren is complete. He hasn't actually scouted anything natural.
So he has no idea it's coming. As you see, 7 roaches are popping out over the next couple of seconds. And the only downside to this is the detection needs to come out for XeNoN, because even if he comes and puts on some pain, if he doesn't have detection, the DTs are just going to ruin him. So, gotta be aware of that coming out. There's no overlords in positions to get a quick scout out, so it's unlikely he's going to get information of those DTs on their way until actually they start slashing away at drones and or roaches.
And I think this is going to be the probe that plants down the pylon that gets everything started off here. If we take a look, the Doctrine's actually only 25 seconds left for completion, so I was about to say the probe needs to get moving soon to put down that pylon. He is going to do just that. See how close to the Zerg base he can get. It looks like this is going to be his option. So he has to run in here. Can't go via there, of course, because of the rocks at the moment, so he has to go all the way around here into the natural. Not the shortest distance there. He may have wanted to chance a pylon here or here, for example, but that's also more likely to get scattered out by some lings. And we've got a decent number of roaches now, 7 in all, moving out across the centre of the map.
So these roaches can go and put on a little bit of pain. If we take a look at the wall off at the natural base, we can see actually there's quite a big gap in it. So that's why there was less gateways thrown down. A hallucinated Phoenix on its way through. We'll see that the lair is 3/4 done, but 3 DTs now warping in after seeing there's no spore crawlers and the lair isn't finished. So he can commit quite heavily to the Dark Templar play. But roaches are already moving up. The force field does go down, but the pylon is going to try and get sniped. You can see that it's taking a lot of fire there. And yeah, DTs, they're just going to run one into each base and just start working away at drones, start working away at queens. And it is going to be really frustrating, even with that Overseer morphing in. It's going to be in 3 places at once.
Yeah, very, very annoying indeed now as we have the probes being pulled from the natural expansion. Looks like this DT is actually targeting the queen at the moment, but decided to divert course to see if it can kill a couple of other things. XeNoN trying to micro against these DTs, but what he's actually losing in the meantime is quite a lot of mining time as well. He needs to really be quite careful of that. The DTs do actually get picked off now, though the third one is still at this hatchery and actually getting it down to a scarily low amount of health here. It'll go down below 1/4 by the time it gets picked off. And there we go. The DT is going to go down now, but all the way down to 318 hit points. That's potentially an easy snipe a bit later on in the game.
Yeah, a Zealot Warpin just running straight in there could take it out. We've got the 1/1 upgrades coming down from Nightend, so this was just the initial bit of aggression. He's not trying to end the game here with this. In terms of worker killed, I'm not quite sure how many he actually got in total. It was, okay, 10 is fairly good actually. It's not massive, but I'd say that's worthwhile, especially when he's just been securing a 3rd base while that was all going on.
And a double hallucinated Phoenix here from Nightend. Interesting. You don't normally see 2 of them go in. Either he really wants to make sure he gets everything scattered off and one of them doesn't accidentally die off, or he wants his opponent to possibly think that maybe he's going quite heavy into the Stargate units, but as soon as an Overlord gets attacked and sees that no hit points are taken off, a kill now. So,
I reckon he just paid attention in primary school where you had to go in pairs.
maybe, yes.
That was it.
Holding each other's hand.
Yep. Or
making
wings.
sure they keep each other. Yeah, making sure they keep each other safe here. And it looks like both of them are about to expire, but he's seen pretty much everything that's going on here. He's taking his 3rd at the same time, getting a decent number of gateways up. The rock tower is still there, of course. Just once, I'd like to see a player bring this down to like 100 hit points and just leave it, and then crush an army.
I think that
doesn't happen in pro play.
I wish it would.
Which is sad because it's really funny.
It'd be brilliant to see. I'm going to make that my job next time I play a game to make that happen.
Okay.
I'll send you the replay.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm going to fail epically.
No problem. I'll definitely cast it then. Don't worry about it.
We've got XeNoN going up. He's going to just try and punch through this wall, but to be honest, there's a lot of stuff behind there, a good number of sentries. He's not going to be able to make his way, but this 3rd, as you said, potentially a little bit of a weak spot, but force fields takes 2 to block it down. Some speedlings are going to get into the probe line, may get 1 or 2 kills, but at the same time it's pushing into the natural, and this is the problem because now there is a gap there. The sentries are having to be in 2 places at once. Force fields have got to be utilised effectively at both locations. And this is someone just trying to find an opening. He's committed quite a lot already, and he's getting 20 drones out at once. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, so what he's doing, XeNoN, at the moment is he's using this opportunity to pressure Nightend, to try and make him dart between his 3rd base and his natural expansion. Killing off a couple of pounds is a nice touch there as well. Temporary supply blocking the Protoss, and saying to Nightend, look, you need to watch out, a big attack might be incoming. And behind this, he macroed up like an absolute beast. He's currently at 66 workers. They're actually both at 66 workers apiece, so Nightend doing a very, very good job of keeping up on his macro there. And XeNoN really just trying to buy himself a bit of time so he can get up to more roaches, so he can get his upgrades complete, plus when Carapace will be finished by the time this potential engagement happens. And he might need a bit more, though, considering the Immortals are there, and that's where stalling for time could be very useful.
Well, he's got the Hydrogen done, but he just doesn't have the money to get any Hydralisks out, and they would really help against this composition, especially before any Colossi hit the field, because that would just wreck a Gateway Immortal force. But doesn't have any on the field yet. Does have 1/1 upgrades complete on both sides. A couple of Zerglings coming in.
He's got grooved spines for all of those Hydras he has out on the field, so I guess that's kind of useful. And, ooh, double Archon coming in from Nightend as well. That is going to be a serious amount of hurt he will attempt to apply here at the third or natural. And, oh, okay, that's another Phoenix. I saw the dot on the minimap and I was like, if that's a DT, the third base could be gone by now because it was such little health earlier. And, well, can he kill every changeling? Yes, he... Oh, not quite. Yes, he does.
That's why you send on mass changelings, just in case they aren't looking. But yeah, Hydra's now starting to hit the field. Nightend didn't really do any damage there.
No.
But to the same extent, he forced XeNoN to make a lot of units. And as a Zerg player, especially when he was only at 66 workers before that, he wanted to get another wave of drones in ideally. Wasn't able to do so, and that means Nightend is economically on a very similar standpoint to that of a Zerg opponent, on equal bases as well. XeNoN hasn't been able to secure a fourth base, and he's got to do that in the near future, or go and put on a world of pain to his opponent. Otherwise, he is going to fall behind. Yeah, you really don't want to be on equal bases with the Protoss at this point in the game. Another thing to point out is that we haven't seen XeNoN put down any additional creep tubers. Nightend didn't do much damage, but what he did do was pick up a lot of creep tubers towards the center of the map. And as of yet, we have not seen any replacements come in from them. And that's a little bit worrying. I feel like XeNon's kind of ignored his creep spread after the first couple of tubers went down here. I'm not sure that's going to be great for him in the long run. Nightend is sneaking into this third base, so he's going to try and do some damage. The Mothership Core is with the army, so it doesn't have enough energy for a mass recall. That third hatch could get sniped down. It's incredibly low. There's the force fields. A mass recall almost certainly going to come down straight after this, should he need to. The Hydrogen also going to go down. This is a brilliant little move in by Nightend here, and he can just retreat out with that mass recall if he needs to.
Oh, and these drones can count themselves lucky today. Oh my goodness. Very, very close to being within range of the rest of that army there. And now Nightend pushing forward a little bit, not using that mass recall just yet, but like you said, he does have it in his back pocket if it is desired. XeNoN looking like he's trying to get a good concave out, but Nightend just retreating back into the choke point, waiting for XeNoN to come to him instead. The supplies are 179 to 190 in favor of Nightend. And oh no, now the drones get seen. And... ooh.
That was painful, those poor drones.
At least it was brief.
At least it was quick, that's one way of looking at it. But what Nightend's doing here is actually really smart. He's keeping on the pressure and just saying, XeNoN, if you go and try and kill me, I'm going to take out your natural, then just mass recall back. But if you try and move in here, you're going to be attacking into a choke. You're not going to engage cost effectively. And what that's basically achieving is Nightend can keep this pain on, knowing he's completely safe, and all the while, Makarov back at home.
Yeah, it's a really difficult situation for the Zerg player to be in terms of decision making here. Does he engage the army? Does he go back home? There we go, the force field's going down now. XeNoN trying to stutter step his way in. Most of the Hydras are actually attacking something at the moment, so the force fields haven't zoned out too many of them. The Stalkers are going down very quickly at the front of the force, but we can see a decent number of Colossi still doing a lot of damage in the back, and XeNon's army supply is now absolutely crumbling. GG, well played.